I've been happy with nothing. Imagine me if I got it. Say if my nine stop busting. Imagine me with a shot it. I've been pushing this Pontiac. Imagine me in the Rari. Bumping God's whisper by Rari. Probably be with a shot.
Yo, what's good with the squad? It's MalikThaGod, and today we got an absolute fire video dropping. Now I know the game drops today at midnight, so I wanted to get this video out before then so people won't mess up their builds. But first, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man, and join the squad. 2K19 is here, and I promise we about to go crazy. Now in today's video, I'm going to give you guys the best tips that I have on how to make the absolute best first build for NBA 2K19. Now this is for the guys like me who waited before committing to a build and just want to make sure they're making the best decision possible. Now I'm the type of person that needs to know as much info as possible, because if I don't want to mess up and make a bad build, and that'll just mess up my whole NBA 2K19 first experience. So let's get right into it. Tip number one, and this is probably my most important tip, is to make the build that fits your playstyle the best. Now what I mean by that is don't go out and make a build just because someone else said that this is the most overpowered build or this is the best build in the game. Make the build that fits the way you like to play. If you like to drive to the basket, look at slashing builds. If you like shooting, look at shooting builds. But just be you. Don't follow the wave, because in reality, no one on 2K knows the wave just yet. Now tip number two would be to figure out what you want your main weapon of attack to be, which will either be your primary or even your pure skill. Meaning if dunking is your main weapon of attack, it's probably a good idea to go slash your primary. And once you figure out your main, think about other ways you want to affect the game. Do you want to shoot the three? Do you want to dribble, off the dribble shots, or even defending? Something you'll need to keep the defense honest, and deciding on this can go a long way with making your build. Now for tip number three would be to not create weird builds. Now this should go without saying, but don't stray too far away from the normal, because in all honesty, most of those builds are trash. Don't go making a 5'7" post defender or a 5'10" sharp rebounding. It's just dumb and honestly a waste of VC, and in reality nobody's going to want to play with you with one of those builds, I promise you. Now on to tip number four, do as much research as possible. Now there's a lot of ways to get good info about the game. One will be checking Twitter and just looking at Mike Wang at Baluba and Zach Timmerman's Twitter at CHoops for Life. Just check their replies. They've been responding to people on Twitter almost daily about the game, and it really helps. You can also check out some MyPass videos and others videos on news if you don't want to go through everyone's tweets. And also be sure to check out the speed boost and the contact dunk chart. I'm going to leave them both up here for a few seconds if you want to examine them more closely. Go ahead and make sure you pause the video and just look through it, as it really can make or break your build this year. Like it's really a big deal. And last but not least, check out NBA 2K Lab, whose link will also be in the description. They have a great badge comparison tool out already, and they will also be updating the attribute comparison tool once the game launches and we see all the max cap for all my players. It's a pretty good tool, something I used a lot last year. So I'm sure this year they're gonna even be better. So go ahead and check them out. Like I said, the link will be in the description. And on to tip number five, be very, very careful with three key things this year: position, weight, and wingspan. Now position is because 2K has finally given people reasons to use the shooting guard and power forward positions this year, because they both have better shooting badges compared to the point guard, small forward, and center. So it'll be smart to play around with it and check different things out before committing to a small forward or a center. They all have their benefits. Weight is also a huge factor when it comes to strength and acceleration. Going max weight can really kill your acceleration, but it boosts your strength. And going minimum weight can boost your acceleration and lateral quickness by a lot. I've checked it. It actually makes a very big difference. And if I'm not mistaken, I think your speed stays the same no matter how big or small you are, but I might be wrong. And lastly, the biggest factor in most builds this year is wingspan. Now wingspan this year can really make or break your build. If you're a shooter or a ball handler, it's almost completely recommended you either go default wingspan or somewhere in between minimum and default. Mostly because lots of builds rely on your wingspan being small in order to speed boost. And also for the shooters, the difference between minimum and maximum wingspan is like 11 attribute points. So example, if you had a 91 3 ball at default, and if you max your wingspan, it can go to like a 79 open shot 3 depending on your build and position. Now that's something to really think about, because if you're a shooter, you want to be able to shoot, so going minimum wingspan might be the wave this year. And also side tip, Remember that you're going to be able to see the max caps during the retail version, so this is something you want to use as much as possible so you're able to see everything about your player as you're upgrading. Be sure to tinker around with it, make changes to your wingspan, weight, and position, to find the best combination for you. Now tip number 6 is that if you already know the squad you're running with day 1, make sure you try to find a build that fits what everyone else is doing. For example, me personally, I know I have a homie making a 6'3" pure sharp creator and also a homie that's making a 6'9" pure sharp, which I know is what we would use for the 3s, so it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to make a build that isn't the best shooter since they'd be able to offset me. Now the reason I'm saying this is because it wouldn't make much sense to have a solid squad of 3 but you all make point guards, or you all decide to make non-shooting archetypes and now the whole team is struggling, so it just makes more sense to coordinate with the squad and make sure everything goes smoothly and that everybody has a build that can help the squad. And finally, tip number 7 will be basically repeating tip number 1, be yourself, make educated decisions, and don't follow the wave, make your own wave, and I promise you'll be the best possible build you can make. Now before I end this video, I just want to talk about my channel a little bit. I just want to let you guys know that I'll be posting as many tips as I find, ranging from bash tutorials to easy ways to get VC and rep up overalls. I'll also be posting my final build selection soon, so this weekend will be full of videos. My goal is to learn as much as possible so the guys who will be playing on Tuesday will know exactly what they need to do and won't have to die face first like the guys who got it on Friday. But anyways, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, man, subscribe if you're new, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.